Hey guys, this is Daniel from Champion Industries, and today we're looking at reassembling your Champion PRO Series Rack Conveyor machine as if we're coming in first thing in the morning and the person last night went ahead and did the good job of taking everything out, cleaning it, and leaving it for you. So what we've got today is I'm using my demo Champion 44 Pro VHR machine, but remember these PRO Series Rack Conveyors can come in a multitude of sizes and formats, so you may have one with multiple tanks or a single tank like this. We're just going to give you a good base reference on how to go ahead and start putting everything back together for this morning's dish run. So the first thing we need to start out with is our pump intake screen. So since we have a single tank machine, we'll only have one to worry about on this machine. If for some reason you have a two tank machine, you'll have two of these. And remember, this is the most important screen to ever not remember to put back in the machine. So you always want to make sure your pump intake screen is clean and back inside the machine. So let's go. We're actually going to go down into the tank. So inside the machine here, since I've got my other scrap screens out, we can actually see inside the tank. And so we'll drop this pump intake screen, and you'll see down here this big pump intake pipe hole here, and it's got some rails on the side of it. So this is actually going to slip right on top. We'll line it up, and sometimes it takes a couple of tries, and we'll slide it right down. And that is the only way to install that. If for some reason it's not seated, it won't really do its job. And like I said, this is the most important screen to ever remember. So next we're going to use our scrap screens that go on top of the tank. So we'll come in from the front here, just underneath this guide, and we'll go straight in. Now one thing to remember is these have one long edge up here, these two tapered edges here, and then the short edge. The short edge will tell you which side goes right on this side that'll go leading into the basket. So we'll go in from the front, just slide that in, and we'll slide that over. Now, interestingly enough, with these scrap screens, you'll see that unlike a basket that would hold things, these scrap screens actually are tapered and they allow any kind of food soil to go across and then get caught in that basket. That'll make your life easier later on when we go to clean the machine. So we'll go ahead and take that, make sure we got the short edge leading down, slide that in, and we're good. And the last thing we're going to do is grab our scrap basket. Now, like I said, everything's going to roll off those and go right into this basket, and that'll make your life easier when we go to clean the machine later on through the day. And that just goes in this hole right here, drops down, and you're good as far as scrap screens go. So the next item we need to reinstall in the machine is our upper and our lower wash manifolds. And these are the ones that do the most washing action inside the machine. I've got the lower one here. Something to concentrate on is these end caps. These little end caps have an O-ring. And when you go to clean the machine, it's good to go ahead and take these out and make sure no food debris or any soil has built up inside these. And it's also just as important to remember when we put these back in the machine that these end caps go back in and they're making a good seal with this O-ring. So I'm just going to go ahead and put these back in, pop it in, give it a little turn, and then they're good to go. So let's take this lower one here, and we're going to go right in from the bottom. We're going to line it up and just slide it right on in there. When you get to the end, you're just going to give it a little push. You'll see where this bar meets these notches, and I'm just going to give that a little push down, and that's locked in. Now the upper one, same thing. We're going to make sure all of our end caps are back in with their O-rings, and we're going to make sure it's pointed down because that's where we want the water to go. And we've got a nice little rail up top here. And so we're just going to line that up nice and easy, push that in where it makes a nice connection back here. And then we have these little hangers. And you can see where this bar will go up, and these hangers, as I push up, they will lock it in place. So I've made sure that those are in. So now our lower and our upper wash manifolds are in place. So last but not least, we need to put our curtains back inside the machine. And curtains are to do two things for our machine. A, they're to keep the water from splashing out all over the place, but even more importantly than that, they're to keep the heat on the inside of the machine. Since we have a hot dishwasher with hot water flying all around inside of it, we want to retain all that heat inside the machine, and the way that we do that is through these air curtains. Now, there's a few different sizes, and again, it just depends on what kind of machine you have. This one right here takes long and medium. I've got a medium right here. Some take medium, shorts, longs. It just depends on the style. And the best way to realize which one needs to go where is anywhere that there's a curtain, you will see this little decal that says which curtain, which size, and exactly where it goes. So that tells me that right in here somewhere, I'm gonna need a medium curtain. So keep in mind, these are directional. So when this machine is a left to right, which means the rack flows from left to right onto the outside of the machine. And so this tiny little flap right here shows me that that needs to be coming from this direction. So what I'm gonna do is I have a couple little hangers in here, and I'm just gonna seat that up in there to where that hangs on these. So that one's in place. I've got my medium curtain in place now. I can go ahead and close that up. And I've got a long curtain that needs to go over here. Again, remember, a little flap will go from the way that the rack enters the machine. So I'll get inside here and I'll hang that up on its little hanger. So now that I've got all my curtains back inside the machine, it's good to go. And we have completely reassembled our machine. Now it's time to turn it on.